Last week we got the reveals for Clan Selection Plus Volume 1, and this week the stage is for Volume 2.
Stand up! Vanguard!
Hey Cardfighters, welcome back to another Cardfight update, and this week we've got some very exciting new news as we got all the new information for Clan Selection Plus Volume 2. Last week we got the face reveals of 9 more units for Volume 1, as well as all the reprints within that set, and the same exact information is today revealed for Volume 2. So without further ado, let's jump straight into these reveals and see what Clan Selection Plus Volume 2 has to offer for its 12 respective clans. And we're gonna jump straight into the reprints themselves to have a better understanding how good the quality of these reprints are going to be. And first off, we see the reprint for Royal Paladin, Oracle Think Tank, Genesis, and Kagero. Overall, these are quite decent kind of reprints. We see some really nice promo reprints or the introduction of these promos. The one for Royal Paladin, both are really nice. Oracle Think Tank is pretty good. The Panatone was a really expensive one, and the Kasata is a brand new promo that hasn't been released yet, so this is a really nice addition for whatever Oracle Think Tank deck you might play. As for the Genesis, they're okay. We have the Grade 1, that's a brand new promo that's now also going to be released for the English side, and for Kagero, the Grade 2 promo is pretty fine, but more importantly, we got another reprint of Ermo, which is a really nice addition to see, as it's a clan staple that's probably going to be played forever in the clan. Now, on the second slider, we've got the reprints for Nubatama, Nova Grappler, Dimension Police, and Spike Brothers, and these are pretty interesting to some extent, as we would expect the ones for Nubatama, as Hanzo is going to return, so the fact that we see the reprints of these high rarity token creators is a nice sight to see. Then for Nova Grappler, all these Beast Deity reprints might sound odd, but once we see which unit is going to be released in this set, then suddenly this makes a lot more sense. Dimension Police is pretty good. Twin Order needed to reprint, that card is way too expensive, now it's going to be pretty affordable, and Platinum Ace is a nice thing to see being reprinted once again. As for the Spike Brothers, I honestly don't know if there's a better cards to reprint. These are just generic staples for the clan that are still be useful with Rising Nova, and even the high rarity stuff like Spike Bouncer or Ronaldo, they're fine to be reprinted, but they're not really that much of a staple anymore, as we see more generic cards being played like these cards. So I think it's fine for Spike Brothers. And for the last sheet of the reprints, we see Pale Moon, Bermuda Triangle, Aqua Force, and Great Nature. Now this is probably the weirdest of them all. First off, Great Nature. We all see the Hemske cards. This gives us an idea of what we're going to get in this set, but even then, these cards aren't really that needed in the reprint because they're pretty cheap and easy to get, so I'm not really that excited about this. Same as the one for Bermuda Triangle, I'm not so sure if these cards need to reprint whatsoever. They're all pretty low rarity. Yes, the mine was, I believe, a triple R, and the Grade 1 that was a double R, but even then, I don't think they were that much in need of a reprint. But then we get to Aqua Force and Pale Moon, and Pale Moon, Nightmare Alice is a great reprint. It's a staple card for the clan. It can be used in whatever deck you might play, so it's a nice thing to see. But the fact that we also see the other Nightmare Doll being reprinted, that gives us an idea of what we might get in this set, which will probably be Nightmare Doll focused, which I personally am very excited about, because the Nightmare Doll budget deck that we could build last year was pretty amazing. I really like the deck, so hopefully we might see a resurgence of that playstyle. As for the Aqua Force one, Coral Assault, great card to reprint, even though it already got reprinted, but even more reprint wouldn't hurt at all. And we also see the return of the Blue Wave support, which is interesting with what we're going to get in this set as well. So overall, the reprints themselves, they're quite hit or miss. Some of the reprints are really good, they're clan staples or super generic cards, and other parts we see the return or the introduction of Japanese exclusive promos, which is always really nice to see. But we also see a lot of questionable reprints like the one for Great Nature with the Hemske line, as well as some cards like the Bermuda Triangle or Nova Grappler or Spike Brothers. So yeah, it's definitely hit or miss in this department for Volume 2. But with that said, let's dive into the new units that are going to be introduced in this set, which will probably answer some questions you might have with the choices of the reprints that were introduced in this set, as they were definitely chosen for a specific reason. So the new boss units that are going to be introduced in Clan Selection Plus Volume 2 are going to be Prism Duo Nectaria for Bermuda Triangle, Regalia of Wisdom Angelica for Genesis, and sadly, Galactic Beast Zeal for Dimension Police. R.I.P. Die Kaiser. I am so sorry, Different Fight, that they had to do this to you, but hopefully there might be a light at the end of the tunnel, as there's more possibilities what they can bring for Dimension Police, but this is what we have to deal with for now. But it isn't where we're going to stop, because we also have Epic Buster for Nova Grappler. This is why we get these new Beast DT support cards. We also see Dudley Lucifer for Spike Brothers, so we get more Dudley support. I'm very curious of which direction you're going to take this. And my personal favorite among these three, Nightmare Doll Chelsea for Pale Moon. So I'm very excited for the Nightmare Doll card for Pale Moon, but I'm also pretty excited for Epic Buster for Nova Grappler, as I also really like the Beast DT playstyle of the standard version of Nova Grappler, so I can definitely not wait for the reveals of those particular two cards for those clans. And for the final new free units that are going to be released in this set, we have Battle Sister Fromage for Oracle Think Tank. We see Blue Wave Marshall Valeos return for Aquaforce, and a brand new unit for Great Nature, which is Hamske's classmate Big Crayon Hamyan, the big little brother for Crayon Tiger. Once again, we see some fan favorite cards with Fromage returning, as well as Valeos for those Aquaforce fanboys, and a brand new card which also is probably gonna revolutionize the Hamske archetype within Standard with Hamyan. So overall, we see some really interesting and also questionable reveals and choices for either the promos as well as the units returning for Clan Selection Plus Volume 2. But nonetheless, pretty excited for whatever player you might be and which clan your favorite is, as this is going to be a really interesting new addition for Vanguard as a whole, together with Volume 1, and we still have many more cards to be revealed for this set. So if you're a bit down for the reveals of your clan with something like Zeal, don't worry, we have more reveals to come, and this could all change for whatever Bushiroad might reveal next. Now, with that said, there's one more card they revealed today, as they revealed the order card for VBT12 Divine Lightning Radiance, and this order is actually pretty interesting, and I think it's underrated, or people are not really catching on what this card potentially could do, as we have this brand new Grade 3 order, Aspirations of Limitless Power, and its ability is put a normal unit from your drop zone on the bottom of your deck. If you put a grade 3 or greater card, draw a card. So, on first glance, you immediately would think this is Gear Chronicle or Tavis support, because you can put the grade 4s on the bottom of your deck, fixing your superior right target, while at the same time also drawing a card, which gives you even more consistency over your engine. And yes, that is true, you could play them in those decks, but that's not giving the card credit for what it actually is. This card is the closest card we would ever get to a cantrip card within Vanguard. And the reason why that's the case is because in Vanguard, whenever we have a card that immediately draws a card when we play it, we also place a body onto the field. So we call a unit and then we potentially draw, or we have a cycle effect going. That's not really a cantrip card. This card is that. We use the card, we immediately draw a card, but we don't get a body onto the board. So it basically replaces itself. Now, everybody is familiar with a cantrip card in Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or whatever trading card game you might play outside Vanguard, knows that cantrips are really useful for increasing the consistency of your deck and also increasing the consistency of whatever combo strategy you might play. Because thanks to such a skill, you go one card deeper through your deck, which basically translates to that you get one card more to potentially acquire your combo pieces. That in itself can be really good for combo decks or stall decks or certain decks that require on one or two specific key cards that allow them to win every single match. This is just an increased consistency on top of that. But what's great about this card is that it's a grade 3, which means we can actually search out this cantrip card within any clan, because we have the grade 3 searchers. So we have a cantrip card that can be searched out, which can be played in every clan, which can be used in every clan, because every clan has the grade 3 searchers, but also every clan will probably play grade 3s, which you can then put to the bottom of the deck too, so you're able to draw that card. So suddenly you see that this card is very universal applicable, while also having the beneficial effect within Gear Chronicle or Tavis or whatever deck that might use grade 4s, because they can then utilize it for that strategy as well. But there's probably something even better that this card can do, which you might overlook on first glance. And that is that this card could save you from bricking if you draw your Garnet cards. And for anybody that isn't aware what a Garnet is, it's basically a card that you want in your deck, and the moment that you accidentally draw it, it becomes a dead card or a card that you cannot really actively use anymore in your main strategy. And the reason why I bring this up is that we have certain decks within Vanguard that actually fulfill this role. Think of Dragonic Overlord the Cross with Dragonic Overlord the End. You do not want to draw your DNs, you want to keep them in your deck so that the Cross can search them out to copy their effects. But a better stellar example for a current day strategy is Gridora with Hell Demise. Gridora can superior call the Great Freeze, and you want to play Hell Demise, which then allows you to increase your attacks to 5 possible attacks. But drawing into your Hell Demise is the most hurtful and painful thing to do, because they are literally dead vanilla cards in your hand that doesn't really help your overall game plan. They only work by being superior called out with Gridora. Normal circumstances, you couldn't really do anything with those cards. In Kagero, you have the upside that you can potentially put the Dode back with your Grade 2s that can shuffle them back, but other decks cannot do this. This new order card can fix those Garnet situations or those Garnet cards, because now drawing into your Hell Demise isn't really the end all be all, because you could put him into the drop zone for discard cost, and then use this order card to immediately put it back on the bottom of your deck, so it's ready to be searched out with Gridora once again. And incidentally enough, Gridora has grade 1s or specific cards that actually want to discard grade 3s to get more beneficial effects. So suddenly, this order card makes all those strategies a lot more consistent and also a lot better. And that is where I think this card's playability really shines. It's a cantrip card that can be used for any clan, but on top of that, it can fix those inherent problem situations for certain strategies that also relies on grade 3 Garnet cards. And I don't know why this keeps happening, but for some reason, every single time that I bring something up, like 1 or 2 days afterwards, Bushiroad answers with a specific card or specific news update that basically either answers my question or my concern, or they literally just are screwing with me. Because yesterday on Twitter, I asked the question out of nowhere, hey, what would we call a Garnet-like card in Vanguard with our current card pool? And the reason why I asked that is because I was looking at cards like Hell Demise, Dragonic Overlord, The End, as well as Phantom Blaster Dragon and Phantom Blaster Overlord, because we have these really annoying cards that once we draw on them, don't really work anymore. And then they bring out this type of order card that basically synergizes with that question. And at the same time, when I made that promo video about this needs to be addressed, they need to do something about this cannot go along anymore, 2 days later, they announced Clan Selection Volume 1 and Volume 2. Like, I know I'm calling myself Mr. Timely, but this is getting crazy, guys. But with that said, that basically rounds up all the information that we got for today's reveals. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of these new order cards, and which Clan Selection Plus volume are you more excited about? Are you more excited for Volume 1, or are you more excited for Volume 2 with the reveals that we've got so far? Let me know in the comments down below all your thoughts and opinions about the topic at hand. As always, this video has been brought to you by lovely patrons over at patreon.com/VanguardInsider. You guys are amazing. If you do want to support the channel or everything that's happening on the channel, you can simply go to patreon.com/VanguardInsider and become a patron today. But with that said, I'm Mr. Timeleap, and I see you guys in the next one!